Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Your Arms to Israel, International Ministries, and our studio. It's wonderful to have you with us this week, ready to join us in the Nazarene Yisraelite truth of the latter-day gathering and restoration of both houses of Yisrael. There really is no other message in Scripture. It is a message of Yahshua gathering the nations, turning them from the ways of their pagan ancestors, leaving their Western Gentile mindset behind, because it is written in Yirmiyahu chapter 16 that in the latter days all men will come from the ends of the earth, saying, truly we have inherited only lies, only vanity, and only falsehood. And in the latter days men will acknowledge their pagan foundation, and will say, in that day, Jeremiah 16, Yirmiyahu says that they shall know, the nations, they shall know that I am Yahweh, Elohim. And so that's what we're all about, this Your Arms to Israel International Ministries Shabbat Video Club. We're honored to have you with us. We're honored that you've taken the time to be with us. And please feel free to share these wonderful messages that are anointed and pinpointedly, accurately guided by the Ruach HaKodesh. And as you stay with us through the months and through the weeks, you will see your most kadosh emunah, faith, being built up in the truth of the commonwealth. That's right, the commonwealth of Israel. Yahweh wants you and I to be equal heirs, equal partakers, equal citizens, drinking of that same commonwealth, because Yeshua is king of Yisrael, and certainly not of a separate non-Yisraelite entity. And so sit back and again, make yourselves at home and be comfortable with us, and we'll go right now, immediately, into today's special Shabbat service. Shabbat Shalom.
Rejoice! This is the day that Yahweh has made. Let us be glad, rejoice in Him and it and everything that is told that He has given us on this Shabbat. Hallelujah! Come on, Yisrael, rejoice! Yahweh. This is not the kind of ride that you can take on a train. Or an automobile. No plane. No rocket ship. No boat. Not by land or sea or air. It's a wheel within a wheel.
Amen.
Yeshua HaMashiach at the helm, and our Yahweh dispatching His instructions. Powered by the Ruach Elohim.
Amen.
This is the day, Yahweh. be glad in it. This is the day Yahweh has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim. Hallelujah.
Keter, Crown, Part 2. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And again, I'm going to thank Yahweh for our visitors and also our brother Danny from Yerushalayim. And I'm going to do my best to try to get him to stay here. I don't think it's going to work, but that doesn't mean I can't try. Right? But he has a heart for us and for this ministry, and also he's has roots in Miami. His dad lived here, right? So he has roots in this community. There's nothing I can share today that's going to top what we just heard. Nothing. So I'm not going to try. I'm just going to deliver it, okay? Turn to your neighbor, he's going to deliver it. I'm going to go, yo. He's going to deliver it. We learned last week that the counting of the Omer are 50 days to build within us what? Character, discipleship, morality, and integrity. And we learned that in the Hebraic understanding of the counting of the Omer, we learned that the 50 days represent 50 gates or doors through which we go to. We learned that our Israelite forefathers had descended to the 49th gate of depravity, and right before they reached the 50th gate of depravity and worldliness in Mitzrayim against Yahweh, that Yahweh sent a deliverer, a Goel named Moshe, and right before the children of Israel fell to the 50th level of depravity, Moshe was sent to rescue the children of Israel. So that when Israel descended to Mitzrayim, they did so physically as well as spiritually. In our return to Yahweh and to Shuvah to be remarried where? On Har Sinai, we've got to pass through those same 50 gates of tzedakah, righteousness, to get back to where Yahweh wants us to be perfectly whole. We learned last week that Yahweh said, you shall count 7 Shavuot, Temeot, meaning what? Full, whole, complete, perfect, so that the reason these are not partial weeks, but 7 what? Full weeks, is because Yahweh desires a full refuah shlema, a full healing during these blessed 50 gates, 50 days of the counting of the Omer. Today is day 39 in the counting of the Omer. We say every day, Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer. We say it, but we don't understand what we're saying. Because, and even today when we were doing worship, we were talking about Kabbalat Shabbat. What does Kabbalat Shabbat mean? The receiving Kabbalah, the receiving of the Torah. So those of us from a church background who've heard all these things that all Kabbalah is Jewish witchcraft, you don't know what you're talking about. And sometimes your stupidity actually gets a hold of you. There is biblical Kabbalah and there's witchcraft, and we want to stay away from the witchcraft. Far away. But we're chasing Our Keter, a crown. The 50 gates of righteousness, we descend from the depravity of the 49th gate, we ascend to the 50th gate, so that each of these 50 days becomes a what? A time of character purification, wholeness, and reformation. And boy, I think Kamar can testify to that, and anybody else that wants to use this counting of the Omer to testify to that can testify to that. When a man like that does what he does, we can see him slowly climbing the steps and the gates, going, and each of these preceding days of the Omer, they haven't been a failure for him. They haven't been punishment for him. They've been a time of ascension into the higher things of Yahweh, with the ultimate goal chasing his Keter, or his mind, his fullness, his ways, his thoughts, his plan for his life. See, Kamar wants Yahweh's plan for his life. When you still care more what people think than getting the crown, the Keter, you're not ready for healing and deliverance. Go home. That's the truth. Sad. It's sad. It's very sad. But this man is going to be Eob, Job. In the end, through the ascension days of the counting of the Omer, he is going to get what we're all shooting for, which is the mind, the purpose, the plan, and the approval of the Keter, the crown. The crown is symbolic of, we start out with a program of Malchut, kingdom, and through Yahweh's Sefirot, we take on more of his manifestations, more of his what? What is Sefirot? Manifestations, more of his character. So this is the goal, but we've got to climb up, 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 up as we become more like Yeshua, and then he rewards us with his Keter, or with his crown. How do we do it? We ascend. Are we on? Are we going? So here is the plan, the Malchut, and the foundation of the plan is the kingdom, the Malchut. The foundation of the plan is the kingdom. The question is, we're going to get into the kingdom. The question is, how do we get into the kingdom? We become more and more and more like Yeshua, and we climb the living tree. These are not 10 gods. These are 10 manifestations of the one true Yahweh. Does that make sense?
Come on.
But watch this. There's so much to grasp here. We say Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al. Say it again. Al Sefirat haomer. The Hebrew word Sefirat can either mean the counting of the Omer or the manifestations. It's the same word. Say it slowly. Sefirah. Sephir. It's the same word. What you're saying every day when you say the bracha and you count the days of the Omer, you're saying, Yahweh, blessed are you who has given us the Sephirot that you've designed and ordained for me during the 50-day ascension from Mitzrayim to your image. So when you say, blessed are you, Yahweh, who has commanded us in the Sephirah, It means that if you want your mind and your renewal to come and your character to be changed and redefined, and that's what's happening to our brother and to those who want to be like our brother, this is the counting of the Omer as a time not to be punished by Yahweh, but it's a time when our character is being fully, completely redefined, and that's why Yahweh says, count 7 full weeks, or Shavuot, Temimot. That's why it's happening to you, brother. Because you're not just going through the religious rote of saying the bracha. No, you're going Sephirah, put on day 1. I want to go through a gate of righteousness and put on a Sephirah. Day 2, I want to put on a different Sephirah. Day 3, I want to put on another Sephirah. Day 4, now how many Sephirot can we put on, Avraham? 49. I'm glad you asked. In order to achieve the mind of Yeshua, we have the 7 lower Sephirot of what? Binah. Hello?
Yes.
You want me to stop now?
No.
We're staying here to 6.
No.
So either way, we're staying here. If you don't want me to teach, we can play romper room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hod, honor. Netzach, victory. Hello. Tiferet, you magnify the beauty of Yahshua. Gevurah, bravery. Did we just see a sephirah of bravery? More bravery than I got. That's for sure. We just saw a sephirah of Gevurah, because Yahweh wants us to manifest more and more His mercy, His forgiveness, His chesed. And then we begin to understand, we have Binah, Yahweh's understanding, and His wisdom, that the counting of the Omer are these 7 sephirot permutated 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. In other words, how many weeks are there? How many weeks are there in the counting of the Omer?
7.
How many lower manifestations do we need to climb to get to the Keter, or the crown?
49.
4. We got to climb. We got to manifest what? 7 manifestations. Now here's what Yahweh wants in our life. Every Yom Rishon we call Sunday, Yom Rishon. We allow Yahweh to build in us one of these Sephirot, and He is. If you let Him, He will. Hod, honor. Netzach, victory. Tiferet, beauty. Gevurah, bravery. Chesed, mercy. Binah, understanding. Chokhmah, wisdom. Now watch, it's 49 gates of ascension from the depths of the people that were redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. So that Pesach redeems you, but the counting of the Omer is for those who want to be available to Yahweh, to be molded and shaped and have more Sephirot emanating from them, even as Yeshua emanates all the Sephirot of His Heavenly Father. So when we say the bracha, Brian, you know what we're saying? Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're saying, blessed are you, Yahweh, who has given us the Sephirot during the counting of the Omer to mold us and shape us into His image. Say the word slowly. Sephirat HaOmer. Sephirat. What's the Hebrew word for manifestation? Sephirat. Sephirat HaOmer means the counting of Yahweh's manifestations in our character as He redefines it and reforms it for His kavod. Are we on? Are we going? Now how do we get 49? Watch. How many lower manifestations of the Sephardic tree are there? This is the Etz Chaim, the soul of the Torah. You know that thing we have right there? Behind the veil, the Torah? It's not a thing, it's not an object. We don't want to turn it like our forefathers did into a thing that needs to be worshipped. An idol. Remember the serpent on a pole, the bronze pole? Nechushan. It was a symbol of victory and healing, but the children of Israel had turned it into Nechushan, or an idolatrous symbol in the camp. If you don't understand the soul of the Torah, or the nefesh of the Torah, you will not understand anything that Yahweh wants to do in your life. The nefesh of the Torah is this Etz Chaim, the tree of life. What does Yahweh want for you, Daniel? Danny? What does Yahweh want for you, Raina? Well, how about this? A little foundation so you're not tossed to and fro. A little honor before men and before Yahweh. A whole lot of victory, a little bravery to confess your sins and your faults one to another. A little chesed to receive those who have repented and show them the mercy and forgiveness and rachamim of Yahweh. To have a whole bunch of wisdom and understanding that this is the way it's supposed to work. That Yahweh is working in me during the counting of the Omer. As I count, He will sephirah in me as I sephirah in Him. I sephirah in Him and allow Him to sephirah in me, so I don't get that emotional. Now I'm asking Yahweh to give me gevurah, bravery and boldness in the face of unrighteousness, even if that unrighteousness comes from my best buddy.
Amen.
And during these days, as I sephirah in the numbers, He'll sephirah His nature in me and through me, and I'll look prettier than I ever did. Now, I mean, you and I may not have a facelift, but the fruit of the Ruach, and that emanates from us, peace, joy, long-suffering, chesed, mercy, all these things, this beautiful flow. And when we come into a room, and we come into a corridor, and we come into a movement, and we come into a situation, that fragrance of beauty and holiness, because we are using these days to get right with Yahweh. Because our ancestors descended into 49 steps of depravity, and so we have 49 sephirot. How so? How many lower sephirot do we have? 7. How many complete weeks between Chag Matzot and Shavuot?
7.
So if every Monday, forgive me for using Greco-Roman expressions, but just so that it hits home, if every Yom Sheni, Moon Day, we allow Yahweh, say, Yahweh, today I'm going to fast and pray and seek bravery, gevurah. Next Monday, I'm going to seek gevurah. The next Monday, I'm going to seek gevurah. The next Monday, so 7 complete weeks, every Yom Sheni, I am pursuing this character of life. These are sephirot, characters of life. How about every Wednesday? Every Yom Shlishi. Maybe you and I don't have enough mercy and forgiveness and compassion in our life, and we want to become more forgiving, more compassionate, and have more chesed. So how about if every Yom Shlishi, every Wednesday, we fast, pray, and we ask Yahweh to change us from within, so that we're manifesting more and more forgiveness, mercy, long-suffering, and compassion, chesed. Wednesday is chesed day.
Hello.
Are we getting this?
Hello.
Okay, how about if we really have a whole bunch of temporary victories against sin, but we don't have permanent victories, and we have a struggle with healing, but we don't have permanent netzach healing. So we want victory to be built, and we want Yahweh to manifest His victory in us. So every Yom Revi'i, Thursday, we make netzach day.
Amen. A little victory.
Pretty soon, we are climbing 49 gates. The 7 lower sephirot, multiplied by once a week or 7 weeks, 7 sephirot, 7 steps of deliverance, times 7 weeks. So the counting of the Omer is a time to practice your victory, your character, the redefinition of who you are in and through Messiah Yeshua. Are you getting this? You don't get upset as you usually do. You don't get as emotional as you usually do. Why? Because every Yom Sheni you've assigned as a day to chase the sephirah of gevurah. You want more bravery to be a man, a mouthpiece, a spokesman of victory for Yahweh, regardless of emotions. Or you may think that the indoctrinous tongues and those who speak in tongues are really Israel, and if you don't speak in tongues, you're going to the hell. So, and then next week you're in Toronto laughing, and then next week you're in Timbuktu barking and clacking like a chicken, because you're chasing the new hot preacher with the new hot hands, with the new hot pulpit, and the new hot ministry. And you want to go anywhere, and the one you want anywhere is hot. It's a hot movement, it's a hot ministry, it's a hot gefilte fish, it's a hot I want to see somebody who's hot. So one week you wind up in the Toronto blessing, the next week you wind up in the, as a Calvary chapelist, next week you wind up in a laissez-faire church system. The next week you hang out with Adam Smith. The next week you're a Leninist and a Marxist, and you believe Yeshua came to set up the Marxist state. So in other words, honey, let me diagnose your problem. You need Yesod, foundation. And we just heard from our sister Yella, the Torah, the Moadim, the Shabbatot are the foundation. Yeshua, the blood, is the foundation. You need maybe every Thursday, every Yom Revi'i, or maybe Friday, every Yom Shishi, to dedicate to Yahweh and say, Yahweh, I am unstable like a duck. I am tossed about. Somebody looks at me, someone says the wrong thing, someone doesn't call me. I get all bent out of shape. I have no stability. I have no root in myself. I'm not rooted and grounded in the truths that you have established in my life. So I'm going to dedicate Yom Shishi as for these 7 weeks to build the Sephirah of a strong, firm foundation. Give me more monitor Jews 10.
Yes.
So if you do that for 7 days, are you doing that? You raised me? Okay. If you do that for 7 days, for 7 weeks, what's that? 7. And you do the same all the other days, 49 days, you've got 49 permutations of the Sephirot. And what are you doing? We're ascending the ladders from decrepitness to victory, bravery, and all the Sephirot of Yahweh. If you don't understand that that's what the season of counting the Omer is about, then don't say the bracha. It's not just about counting days, it's about counting and taking account of your life and allowing Yahweh to make up and to change the areas where you and I fall short. Does it make any sense? Does this make hello?
Hallelujah.
So Yahweh says they're Shavuot Tmeimim or Tmeot, meaning they're for wholeness, healing, and completion in your life as you ascend from the 49 levels of descent that our forefathers experienced in their descent into the lifestyle of slavery. It wasn't just a lifestyle, it was a mind and a position of slavery. And when you're in bondage to a sin, you're in the house of the Son, but you're not free. Yeshua said that the Son has come to set you free. So you're in Yeshua's house, but you got to be free.
Amen.
You could be in the Son's house and not be free. So the counting of the Omer is a time when we allow Yahweh to manifest through us as we count, and Yahweh takes count of us, and He sees the Sephirot we do have, and He sees the Sephirot we don't have. And if you count the fullness of the 49 and 50 days, He will give you, and if your heart is right, and you're broken before Him, for a broken and contrite heart, O Yahweh, Thou will not despise. Amen. So if your heart is contrite and broken, and Yahweh will not despise that heart, no good thing will be withheld from those who walk uprightly. Every Sephirah that Yahweh has purposed and manifested into this physical realm, He will manifest in you as you present your body a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. Hallelujah! That's what the counting of the Omer is all about. It's about you and Yahweh. My goodness, the Sunday system is right. It's personal. You shall count, not the Kohen, not the rabbi, not the paid religious professional, not la pastor, pastorette, pastoreta. You shall count because you're on the operating table, and Yahweh wants you chasing Him so He can chase you and clothe you with more of His Sephirot. The church says you got to be clothed with the Lord. Now, what does that mean? Huh? So if He wears designer jeans, I have to wear designer? What does that mean? Clothed with the, what does that mean? What does it mean to